Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Michaela, and I'd love for you to subscribe and become part of our family here on YouTube. Today's video is something new that I normally don't do, but this is what I read in the month of July. So I ended up reading 9 books, and it's not even the end of July yet, but at the same time, the book I'm reading currently, I don't think I'm going to get done with it before August 1st. So we're just going to say I've read 9 books for this month, and if I end up reading that 10th book, then I'll just make a note of that somewhere and in the next one and be like, I actually finished reading this in July, but it'll be fine. It'll be good. So let's just get on into it. I've been in a super I've just wanted to read. So that's what I've been doing. So the first book that I read is called The Forbidden Wolf King by Leah Stone. I loved this book. It was one of my favorite. I loved the series. It's a 5-star series for me. It's called the King of Avalor series. And in it, I read those books earlier in the year, and so I finished the series this month at the beginning of the month, and I absolutely loved it. It kind of got a little bit of a drink spilt on it, and I feel so bad for it, but I absolutely love this book. I gave it 4 stars on its own. Out of the series, it wasn't my favorite, but it was still one of the better books that I have read, and I love Leah Stone's writing. So yeah, the next book I read was Done and Dusted. This is about Luke and Emmy, or Clementine. I really enjoyed this book. It was one of the first non-fantasy books that I've read in a while, and I absolutely loved it. It was so good. I read it in I think 3 days. It's not that big of a book. I think there's 300 pages, just a little over 300, and I like how it's dual personality or dual point of views. It flips back and forth between Emmy's and Luke's, and I really enjoy books like that. So it was just, yeah, I really loved it. She's a barrel racer, and I have horses. I never barrel raced, but I love horses. I ride horses a lot. So this was just I could see myself in her a little bit, because even though I never actually professionally ran barrels, we would make, and I would run around them here because I always wanted to. I never made it to it. But so this was, I think I gave it 4 stars. I absolutely loved it. It was really good. This is the first one, and I think it's called A Rebel Blue Ranch. So it's the first one in that series. I think there's going to be 3 in total, maybe 4, but I think there's just going to be 3. And I really, really enjoyed this book. Then the next one I read after that one was Swift and Saddled, which is the second one, and I really liked this one too. I gave it 4 stars. Ida and Wes were really good in this book. Somebody came out to visit me, but Ida and Wes were really good in this book. I gave it 4 stars as well. I enjoyed the first one a lot more than this one, but this was my vacation read that I took with me, and I absolutely loved it. So I know some people, these aren't their favorite books, and I can totally understand, but I really understood living on a ranch / farm, and so I really enjoyed those books and the characters. Then the next one I read, this is book number 4 for the month of June, was called The Nanny. I really liked this book. I gave it 3 stars, so I didn't like it as much as the other 3 that I've already told you about. It wasn't my favorite for the month. I did, however, really like the storyline. She has lost her job and had put out for something in Craigslist type thing or something, and he responded, and there's some more things that happen, and they end up dating, and they're trying to hide it from his daughter, who she's nannying for, and it's just a really cute story, and I really liked it. I thought it would be more like The Nanny, the TV series. It was not, but it was really cute still. So I did give it 3 stars. Not my favorite, but I have read way worse. Then the next book I read was House of Ash and Shadow by Leah Stone, the same author who wrote The Forbidden Wolf King. This book is about Fallon. She's been cursed, so anytime that she's touched, she feels immense pain, like literally just a little brush of her hair, and she is screaming on the ground. That's how that curse works. I loved this book. I gave it 4 stars. It's so like, absolutely loved this book. I'm trying to like describe it without giving it away, but her dad gets sick. You read that on the back. Her dad gets sick. She breaks into a city to try to save him, and then it's discovered that she has magic, and she didn't know. She thought she was magicless, and now she's living in this big city, and there's one person who can touch her, and he cannot stand her, and it's amazing, and I loved it. 4 stars. This is the first book in a trilogy, so I really, really loved this book so much. Then the 6th book that I read was the second one in the trilogy, House of War and Bone. These are just some really pretty books. This one again follows Fallon, and the one who can touch her name is Aiden, and things happen, and Aiden gets, like, he ends up being alive, but kind of in their underworld, which you read on the back, so not spoilers. And he has to fight for his life. But this was another 4-star read. I love her writing so much. And again, they're not super big books, but I just absolutely love them. This series is definitely going to be another reread. Actually, I think I gave this one 5 stars. It was really good. The first one was 4 stars. This one was 5 stars. I really, really loved it. There's a bird on the cover, and he's like a big character in the book, and I absolutely love him. He's my favorite. So I gave this one 5 stars. Then the next book I read was Twisted Love by Anna Hong. I think is how you say your name. I'm so sorry if it's not. I'm not good with names, guys. But this one follows Alex and Ava. I gave this one 3 stars. It was not my favorite. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't my favorite either. And I think this is where I'm going to leave it. It does kind of match my nails though, so gotta kind of, yeah. It, again, was not my favorite. Then after that one, I read The Magician's Nephew by C.S. Lewis. It is the first book in the Chronicles of Narnia series. It's a children's series, so it is almost, I think it was 202 pages is what this book is. And I started reading this series in middle school and only read the first 2. So I really love this book. I gave it 5 stars, but this one is, I think I honestly gave it 5 stars because of the nostalgia, but this one is kind of slow, but it sets up Narnia as like a whole, and you learn so much about how Narnia came to be within this book. So if you're reading the series, you don't necessarily have to read this book, I don't think, but I recommend reading this one because it sets up Narnia. It explains how it came to be and all of that. But I really love C.S. Lewis and the Chronicles of Narnia and all of that, and I just wanted to dive back into that and read, and it was a quick little read after all the fantasy books that I had read. So I just, yeah, which I guess this is still considered a fantasy book, but I just like C.S. Lewis. Then the final 9th book that I read was none other than House of Light and Ether. This is the 3rd book in the Gilded Cities, and I gave this one 5 stars. It's a 5-star series for me. I didn't even know this book was out, and I actually bought this book yesterday, and I finished it yesterday. It was that good, and I'm a really slow reader, so me wanting to sit and read a whole book in one day just should speak volumes of how good this book is. And just look how beautiful of a book this is. It's so just, I was in love with this book. I could not put it down, and yeah, it was just everything. I'm still kind of like in this like haze of it's over. There's not going to be another one. Like, this is how it ends, which it ended beautifully and wonderful, and everything is good. But I was still just I'm just sad that it's over. Again, her books are not that long, which I think this one it wasn't even 300 pages. It's 261. And yeah, I loved it. All 3 of them are amazing. But I didn't know this book came out yet. I thought it didn't come out till September. It came out in June. So it's only been out for about a month, or a little over a month actually. And I was walking through the bookstore yesterday, and I just happened to glance down, and there it was. And I bought it, and I read it all on the same day. So I absolutely loved it. I still can't believe that I read 9 books in 1 month. It's kind of crazy to me that I did that, but I did, and I loved it. So let me know if you like the more book-related content. If not, I'm still going to do my other content. I just wanted to share that because this feels like a big deal to me that I read 9 books in 1 month. So yeah, but if you haven't already, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, bye.